What's going on, everybody? This is Professor Crypto Banana, and boy, am I loving what is happening on the Fantom ecosystem side. I see it as a friendly game of Game of Thrones, maybe chess match, between all these major projects. So when one gets a little bit too far ahead, I can see the other ones just jumping in, doing partnerships to be like, no, come on back, come on back. It's just really interesting to see the dynamics that's happening right now as we speak, and it's going to ramp up more when we move forward. Now, I got my personal favorite, the one that I think is going to do extremely well and reach the top of the leaderboard, at least be, as close to the top. But before I reveal that, I gotta hit you with that disclaimer. Hey, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Keep in mind that this is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. I'm not a crypto expert. However, I'm learning a lot. I love sharing, simplifying, but please double check my work because I could be missing out on a lot of information, be incorrect, and keep in mind that crypto is risky. So this is the image that I was talking about. We've all seen it before. Somebody's trying to climb it to the top. Somebody gets super close and then yoink, somebody right below pulls it down a little bit. So on the Fantom ecosystem side, it's more of for DeFi. It's a top 30 project out there right now, ecosystem, blockchain. And man, there's just so much going on with the DeFi, so many innovators that's happening right now. And a lot of these projects are turning towards the curve model with gauges. Now, if you don't know, that's fine. Just know that I don't think there's ever been a blockchain that had so many major projects all flipping to that. And now it's a game of power. So power in what way? Well, perhaps you've heard of governance tokens, right? If let's say you invest in a project, you get some of the tokens, and if you hold it, then you get to make decisions and vote how the project should go. Well, a lot of these projects give out rewards. They generate revenue. They could be a decentralized exchange, meaning they do swaps and everything. They collect fees from that, and then they give out rewards. Well, what happens when you own a good portion of that project and you get to decide how the rewards go? Well, you could then decide and say, hey, I want those rewards to flow over to me, to the best way that benefits me. It's like, okay, all right. But then what happens when other projects on the side say, whoa, okay, we're going to compete for you for that. All right. And then what if one project gets a little bit too far up? Then these other projects can go in and say, okay, you're the top dog. I'll just invest in you, because if I invest in you, then indirectly I get, a say in the rewards downstream. It's just, I know it's confusing, but stick with me here. I got some diagrams here. We'll get to Liquid Driver is actually the project that I'm like, ooh, my bae. I'm invested in it. So disclaimer, major disclaimer, got some diagrams here. But this is how I see it happening right now. So talk about DeFi, and all the different projects are probably going to start investing in each other. And why is that actually good for people that are on Fantom? Well, a lot of these projects require you to lock up your funds in order to have these tokens and have these voting rights, having this power. Okay, so with all these funds out on there on the project, do you think that other projects on different blockchains are like, there's a lot of money out here on Fantom. I want a piece of the pie. Why can't my project be out there and I get a little, chunk out there? Okay, but you don't just enter the ring because, well, you got all this power going on and you need the funds. And they got the funds and they're deciding where the rewards go. And if you're a new project, you kind of need the funds, especially if you're new. You really need it. So then this is where the bribing comes in. It's just a whole thing. So let's do a different one. So let's start from the beginning with the curve model. From how I understand it, started on ETH. There was curve. They were giving out a lot of liquidity. So just think of it as just allowing projects to have a lot of funds so that people can do their swaps. Really important. And Curve found a good way of how to do it. But you got to lock up your tokens. Convex comes around and says, okay, we'll gladly invest on one side and then allow people to indirectly get those tokens, but they can sell whenever they want. So the project itself always has the tokens locked forever, but then they provide a second different token saying, okay, you can buy and sell between it, essentially. But then Convex, because they have all those tokens, can decide, oh, this is where the rewards go here, go there, and they became very powerful. So again, very simplified version. Hopefully I'm getting this right. And now what's happening potentially is there's a new project called Redacted Cartel, and they're saying, okay, we see Convex owns a lot of Curve, so what if we own a big portion of Convex? So you see how it's like, layer on top of layer on top of layer. One project owns another project. Maybe you've seen the movie scene where somebody just bursts into the room and says, I own 51% of this company. I am now the owner. I make the decisions. Done. I think this is kind of what's panning out. It's really interesting. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I got on a call with Dr.Liquid. He's the head guy at Liquid Driver. Man, I'm loving that project, the innovation. I got so much content more that I want to discuss and bring to the future. However, I'm going to just focus on this one quote because this is ringing in my head. I think is that important. On the call, he told me, we are governance token hunters. But look, he's a part of Liquid Driver. His name is Dr. Liquid. And liquid in the sense being kind of, think about it as just funds, money that people temporarily give up so that different projects can swap in and out of. That's the best way how I can describe liquidity. And there's a lot of money to be made by doing that. But there's liquid all around. But he is saying we are governance token hunters. All right. So let's tie this back. You know how we were talking about, one company owns another company, or in this case, when it comes to, crypto, one project owns majority of the other voting tokens projects, so then they get to decide. I think this is what's happening. And Liquid Driver knows this and is positioning itself up. It's already in a great position. It's already really far ahead. And I think they're going to continue, and I'm loving it. So I drew up this quick little diagram to help out. I'll make more in the future, but think about it this way. Liquid Driver, they got, their project over here. And what they do is they eventually start to obtain a lot of inSPIRIT tokens, which is just, think of it, they get a lot more power of the spirit swap. And they're collecting it. They got a way how to do it. So people, they're bringing money to Liquid Driver. They're making some good yields and everything. They're like, oh, I'm happy. And Liquid Driver's like, okay, cool. Well, we came up with a cool way how, yes, you give us all these rewards, we're giving it back to you. However, we're collecting more of these voting tokens. Oh, okay. And now Liquid Driver can go to Spirit Swap and say, hey, I know you guys are giving out rewards and whatnot. Tell you what's going to happen. Send some of those rewards this way for our users, please. Thank you very much. More rewards. And if Liquid Driver is all of a sudden getting more rewards, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to invest and put money in. Again, not financial advice, but more people are going to probably come in and say, hey, you're giving out actually better. If I give you my funds here, I'm probably going to make more as opposed to if I go over there. So you notice how it's, Drake on Digital calls it like sticky liquidity, the flywheel effect, and that's how it goes down. All right, so that's just one project. But then all of a sudden, that's how I said about the curve model with the rewards. Well, different projects are doing that right now. For example, Beethoven X. So I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm thinking, that Liquid Driver is now saying, okay, I see you over there. You're giving out those rewards. We're going to make sure that we get a good stake in your guys' project as well. It's going to belong to the Liquid Driver side. We're going to find a way of how to collect more of that. And then as a result, when it comes down to vote time for the rewards, we're going to find out the best way how to give rewards to the people that are invested in Liquid Driver and attract more. It's that flywheel effect, and I'm loving it. So, and as a result, because a lot of people are locking in their funds, they want to get more of the rewards. What happens on the Fantom side? Do you think people are leaving, or do you think people are staying? People are staying. They're keeping their funds on there. People who are looking at metrics from different blockchains are saying, what's going on here on Fantom? I'm seeing that the TVL, meaning money out there on Fantom, the amount of money on there is growing. So a lot of these different projects may want to come in and say, hey, we want some of those funds, but oh shoot, we don't got enough money here for our tokens so that people can go swap between back and forth. And where they're going to have to go to get the best rewards in order for people to give up funds, they'll go to Liquid Driver, get some bribes, and then, again, that goes to the holders who are invested in Liquid Driver. So it's a whole thing. I know this goes over a lot of people's heads. Don't worry. I'll do future videos trying to simplify this. I just want to get that out there, how I'm just excited. I'm loving what is happening here. But, however, if Liquid Driver gets a little bit too big, how we were talking about the whole mountain, I'm thinking that other projects are going to see that and say, Liquid Driver, you're getting a little bit too big here. We're going to invest into you so then we can get more votes to how you do stuff. So then let's say you got a big holding of Spirit Swap. All right, we're going to invest a ton into Liquid Driver so then that way we can indirectly get votes on Spirit Swap, Beethoven, etc. So then instead of this being just a linear direction, I see this as being multi-dimensional, where different projects see one's getting a little bit too big, getting too many rewards, and then investing in the other to make sure that they can point the rewards to themselves. So it's a whole thing. Again, just like this. So let's see what else I got here. You know what? We're just going to hit up the websites quick. So normally with farming tokens, Drake on Digital, he talks about how farming tokens normally go to zero. A lot of people will have a certain funds, certain amount of money, and they say, I want to make this amount of money work for me. And if you're willing to give me rewards for it, then hey, I'll take your tokens and I'll just sell it right away. So that's why the term farming tokens go to zero comes along. But with Liquid Driver and all these other projects where you gotta lock it up, they're giving more rewards, yields on top of yields, this is the complete opposite. Flipped it on its head. People are keeping this token. They're loving this. The price is going up. Now, again, not financial advice. Can't tell you when to get in, because just look at this. And this is just when Bitcoin was tanking, okay? When Bitcoin going down. This going up. We're talking 7x. So, I can't say anything about this. Where's a good price entry, all that. I'm not even going to go in there. Because, disclaimer, I am heavily invested. In fact, I am so invested, and it's uncomfortable because it took on such a big portion of my portfolio. I'm in a unique position where I'm going to be starting to sell off a little bit of rewards to diversify, because we all know what happened with the Grim Finance hack, right? So I don't want to keep like 90% of all my value on just one project, and it feels horrible because I personally absolutely love it, but I'm just going to disclaim that. However, take a look here. Now, some could be saying, okay, Professor, when's a good time to get in? How would you do it? Again, not financial advice, but one thing could do is try to find an LP token that is relatively safe and just farm the tokens and then lock it up. Just that simple. I mean, they are giving extremely high yields, again, based on the strategies that they implemented. And you're like, okay, well, it's a high percentage yield, so then, everybody's selling the token, more supply, flood the market, price go down, right? But I just showed the chart where the price is going up because people are loving this whole concept and utility. So you can just, go in here. There's probably different video. I think Miles is going to be doing a tutorial as to how to do that, so check out his video as well. I'll be leaving a link in the description for Miles's YouTube, for Drake on Digital YouTube, because man, hey, I'm talking to them, I'm working with them, they have great ideas, so I pick up a lot of information from them. I love to give it just simply back out to you guys as well. But yeah, you could be farming out 150% APR. That's not even counting auto compounding. So that'd be way more if you decide to reinvest, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, you can just do, and a lot of these tokens are such as, like right here, Fantom paired with a stablecoin getting 141%. So personally, this is a good short-term entry, but again, not financial advice. But let's keep going. So that's the whole price action right here. I'm gonna wrap this up quickly. So you know how we talked about the voting and the power? Well, Liquid Driver has a cool strategy on how to acquire more of the voting tokens, essentially, and say, hey, we want more rewards on our token. Send those rewards over here, baby. Come on. Well, let's take a look at this graph. This is growing more and more. So people who have Spirit and locked it up on Spirit Swap, they have 33% of the vote right now. Liquid Driver, different project, 31%. And it keeps growing and growing. Now other projects are coming in, they're doing their thing. They want a piece of the pie, literally piece of the pie chart. They're right here. But again, look, 31%. All right, maybe the text is a little bit too small and you say, Professor, hey, change that, my bad. But anyways, so you get the idea. It keeps growing and growing, and similar to the whole Curve and Convex, where Convex started to get the whole portion of the pie of Curve, and it's like, all right, I'm the captain now. I get to decide how the ship is ran. It's like, This is what happened. And this is just for Spirit Swap. So again, you know how we talked about right here? We are governance token hunters. You get more power on different projects and you get to decide how the rewards go. And Liquid Driver says we will decide what is the most beneficial and how to get the best rewards possible as a result. Dang. Deep liquidity. So in this video, I talked with Drake and he actually gives some good information, especially about, let's say, stablecoins. Now, stablecoins seem very boring. It's like $1 coin was the big deal. However, I'm trying to learn about FRAX and their stablecoin. And if they want to be multi-chain, they have to come to all the places where there's a lot of money, right? So think about it this way. If you want to take a plane to Uganda from Chicago, do you think that there's a direct flight? I highly doubt it. If there are, it's extremely rare. Because, it's not a place where people are constantly going, not high traffic. Okay. But what about from Chicago to New York? What about from Chicago to London? Are they direct flights? Yeah, there's way more because there's, it's high dense cities, a lot of traffic back and forth, and then maybe there from you branch out. Well, the same thing happens with Fantom. It's EVM compatible, meaning it's kind of like a major city. It's connected between, let's say, Chicago and London. Fantom's connected to Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, probably a few others, Avalanche. So again, it's connected to these bigger places, and these stable coins, they want to be on these different blockchains. Gotta be where the people are. So then they have to fight their way in to get some of those rewards, and then they'll be looking at the top dog saying, hey, can you help us out? Which in fact, I didn't even know about FRAX, and Dr.Liquid mentioned about it, and it just kind of went over my head. I'm like, whatever, but FRAX right here. Rank number 69 coming over to Fantom side. That a big deal. I still got to learn about a lot of this stuff. And catch this tweet that just happened yesterday. Yes, it's January 12th where I'm at. This happened on January 11th. I'm going to like that and give that little retweet. Look at that. So over here it says Liquid Driver. They had a vote with the power and they said, okay, we're doing a partnership with FRAX. So then as a result, you can take a look right here. Drake on Digital pointed out, the whole snapshot. There are some bribes. There are some partnerships. Remember how we went to that example of climbing up the mountain and pulling the other one down? Well, I don't think FRAX is pulling it down. It's probably the complete opposite. It's like, hey, you're the top dog. What can we do to make sure that you help us out with liquidity, like the rewards, and we'll help you in different ways. I gotta go over all the details. But it's very interesting. Very interesting. Again, I'm just learning as I go and sharing, so I'm loving it. All right, so we talked about already Liquid Driver and how that's all going down. Do I have any information more for you guys? Probably not. So I'm going to switch it back on me and do concludey time. Here we go. So in a place where having the ability to vote where all these rewards go. All these projects are flipping to saying like, okay, let's vote how the rewards go to different projects. Okay. The power is really important. Let me rephrase that. Having the governance tokens, meaning being in a project and having the ability to vote how those rewards go is extremely critical. I think a lot of projects are realizing it, and they're going to be doing partnerships to make sure that they're well positioned. Extremely interesting to see how this goes. I haven't seen this on any other blockchain, and I think that this is going to adopt to different blockchains as well. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for that, because similar to how it's like the first fork of something successful, for a short time, I believe, not financial advice, I believe it does very well and can be very lucrative to benefit off that. But again, I'm looking at Fantom. I'm seeing this happen. I think it's a big deal. I'm loving it. I got more videos coming up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peaces.